President Trump's first month in office has been nothing short of eventful. From sweeping economic policies to controversial immigration measures, the administration wasted no time in making its mark. This period saw the introduction of significant tariffs, sparking concern among businesses and consumers alike. Simultaneously, the administration ramped up deportations, leading to legal challenges and public outcry. These actions, coupled with a series of other executive orders, have left the nation on edge, wondering what the next 4 years hold. In a move that sent shockwaves through the global economy, President Trump announced a new wave of tariffs. Dubbed Liberation Day tariffs, these levies represent a significant departure from traditional trade policies. The tariffs, which target a wide range of goods, are designed to protect American jobs and industries. However, critics argue that they will ultimately harm consumers by driving up prices. The most controversial aspect of these tariffs is their broad scope. Rather than targeting specific countries or industries, the tariffs apply to imports from all nations, including close allies. The announcement of the Liberation Day tariffs triggered immediate turmoil in the financial markets. Investors were caught off guard, leading to a frenzy of activity on trading floors across the globe. The sudden imposition of these tariffs created a ripple effect, causing uncertainty and fear among traders and analysts alike. Wall Street reacted with alarm, with the Dow Jones Industrial Average plummeting over 1,600 points. This dramatic drop was a stark reminder of the market's vulnerability to geopolitical events. Traders scrambled to make sense of the new economic landscape, selling off stocks in a bid to minimize losses. This marked the worst day for the index since the 2020 market crash. The parallels between the two events were striking, with both instances characterized by sudden, sharp declines and widespread panic. Analysts drew comparisons, noting that while the causes were different, the outcomes were eerily similar. Economists warn that the tariffs could have dire consequences for the American economy. Some predict a recession, citing the potential for reduced trade and increased costs for businesses. The uncertainty surrounding the tariffs has led to a cautious approach from investors who are wary of the long-term implications, while others fear a period of stagflation. This combination of stagnant economic growth and rising inflation could create a challenging environment for policymakers. The prospect of stagflation is particularly concerning, as it limits the effectiveness of traditional economic tools used to combat downturns. The tariffs are expected to increase costs for businesses, particularly those reliant on imported goods. Manufacturing sectors could be hit hard, with higher input costs leading to reduced profit margins. Business owners are already expressing concerns about their ability to remain competitive in a more expensive market, which could lead to higher prices for consumers. As businesses pass on the increased costs to customers, everyday items could become more expensive. This inflationary pressure is likely to affect household budgets, with families needing to adjust their spending habits to cope with rising prices. This, in turn, could dampen consumer spending, further slowing economic growth. Reduced consumer confidence in spending can have a cascading effect on the economy, leading to lower demand for goods and services. This slowdown could exacerbate the economic challenges already posed by the tariffs, creating a difficult environment for recovery. The Liberation Day tariffs have been met with widespread disapproval from the American public. Across the nation, people are taking to the streets to voice their concerns. From large cities to small towns, the sentiment is clear. These tariffs are seen as a threat to the economic stability of many households. The protests are not just limited to the general public. Various organizations and advocacy groups have also joined the movement, amplifying the call for a reconsideration of these economic policies. A recent poll found that a majority of Americans oppose the tariffs, fearing that they will lead to higher prices and hurt the economy. The poll results, displayed prominently on news screens, show a significant percentage of the population expressing their dissatisfaction. Street interviews reveal a common concern among citizens: the potential for increased living costs. Newspaper headlines across the country echo this sentiment, highlighting the widespread opposition and the growing anxiety about the future economic landscape. Businesses are particularly concerned about the impact of the tariffs on their bottom line. Small business owners, in particular, are feeling the pressure. In meetings, they discuss the potential financial strain and the difficult decisions they may have to make. Factories, once bustling with activity, now have idle machinery, a stark reminder of the economic uncertainty that looms. The fear of layoffs and reduced production is palpable, as businesses brace for the financial hit. Many companies rely on imported goods, and the tariffs are expected to significantly increase their costs. At ports, cargo containers filled with essential goods face delays and increased fees. Import-export businesses are grappling with the new financial burden, trying to navigate the complexities of the new tariffs. Workers in warehouses who handle these imported goods are also feeling the impact, as their job security becomes uncertain in the face of rising operational costs. Consumers are also worried about the potential impact on their wallets. In grocery stores, shoppers are already noticing price hikes on everyday items. Interviews with consumers reveal a growing concern about how these increased costs will affect their monthly budgets. Families gathered around kitchen tables are anxiously reviewing their bills, trying to figure out how to make ends meet in this new economic climate. The fear of financial strain is becoming a common theme in households across the country. The tariffs are expected to raise the prices of a wide range of goods from cars to clothing. At car dealerships, price tags reflect the increased costs, making it harder for consumers to afford new vehicles. Clothing stores are also adjusting their prices, passing the additional costs on to shoppers. In shopping malls, the impact is visible across various goods on shelves, from electronics to household items. The ripple effect of the tariffs is far-reaching, touching nearly every aspect of consumer life and adding to the growing public outcry. The Trump administration's aggressive approach to immigration enforcement has also sparked controversy. In particular, the administration's use of deportation flights has come under intense scrutiny. Federal judges have temporarily halted several deportation flights, citing concerns about due process and the potential for wrongful removals. One particularly contentious case involves the deportation of alleged gang members to El Salvador. A federal judge is currently considering holding Trump administration officials in contempt of court for allegedly violating an order barring such deportations. Section 6. The Alien Enemies Act, a controversial tool. This piece of legislation, originally enacted in 1798, has been a subject of intense debate and scrutiny over the years. Its implications have evolved, but its core remains a powerful tool in the hands of the government. Adding fuel to the fire is the administration's reliance on the Alien Enemies Act to justify deportations. This has sparked widespread protests and political rallies, with many citizens and activists voicing their concerns about the potential for abuse and the impact on immigrant communities. This World War II-era law grants the president broad authority to detain and deport non-citizens deemed enemy aliens. Originally intended to address wartime threats, its application in modern times has raised questions about its relevance and fairness. Critics argue that the administration is abusing this law to target individuals based on their nationality or perceived political beliefs, rather than any actual threat they pose. Legal experts have pointed out that such actions could undermine the principles of justice and equality that the country stands for. The use of the Alien Enemies Act has drawn comparisons to the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II, a dark chapter in American history. This comparison serves as a stark reminder of the consequences of unchecked governmental power and the importance of safeguarding civil liberties. The debate continues as to whether this law should be reformed or repealed to prevent future misuse. Section 7. Public sentiment on immigration. Despite the controversy surrounding the administration's immigration policies, public opinion remains divided. While a significant portion of the population supports stricter immigration enforcement, many are uncomfortable with the administration's methods. Polls show that a majority of Americans believe that immigrants strengthen the country. However, there is also support for securing the border and enforcing immigration laws. The debate over immigration is likely to remain a contentious issue throughout President Trump's term. Section 8. Beyond tariffs and deportations, other key actions. The first month of the Trump administration was not solely defined by tariffs and deportations. Several other significant actions were taken, impacting various aspects of American life. The administration announced plans to repeal and replace the Affordable Care Act, sparking protests from healthcare advocates. Additionally, President Trump signed an executive order advancing the construction of a wall along the US-Mexico border, a central campaign promise. These actions, along with numerous others, reveal a president eager to implement his agenda. Section 9. A nation divided, the political landscape after 1 month. After just 1 month, it's clear that President Trump's presidency will be marked by turbulence and division. His policies have ignited passionate responses from both supporters and detractors, deepening the existing political fault lines. The coming months and years will reveal the full impact of his decisions on the economy, social fabric, and global standing of the United States. One thing is certain, the Trump presidency will continue to be a source of intense debate and scrutiny, both domestically and internationally.